end of the year already? It is giving who, what, where and when did the year go? I am so confused. Q4 already? Oh yeah, this year flew. And I know we say that every single year, but honestly guys, this year flew. And yeah, apparently this is a Q4 video. Apparently this is a Q4 video, and I did review my Q3. The end of Q3 got very busy. I'd like to apologize to all of my 40 something subscribers that I've been away for a while. Honestly, my assignment just, yeah, took over my life alongside working and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a while, I know, but August and September got super busy. So yeah, I mean, here we are. Welcome back to another video. I'm so excited for this. I'm excited with a little, just a little, just tiny bit, just a little bit hint of would I say fear? No, fear is not the right word, because obviously you don't have a spirit of fear. What can I say? Like, I guess like a bit of adrenaline rush. Yeah, I'd say adrenaline rush, because like we are actually at Q4, and Q4 has to always be my favorite quarter. Living in England, in terms of the weather, no, not so much, but in terms of like the mindset and all that kind of stuff and the planning, this honestly just has to be my like favorite. So now we're about to get into Q4, and yeah, I did review my Q3, and I'm probably gonna add, I did that in September in the thick of my assignment. So if you see me and you see my wig is all messed up or whatever, give me grace, because that was a rough time for me. It just requires some effort, you know. So yeah, if I look messed up, just know a lot of effort was required at that time, and that effort unfortunately didn't make it to my wig. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. And if my wig still looks bad today, then don't judge me. I'm just a girl. I'm actually just a girl, just trying to do everything that I was called to do. So let's go into my Q4 goals. I have decided to keep that running theme of reading one like personal finance kind of book, and then another one that is predominantly based on like mindset. Of course, finance is heavily linked to psychology and mindset, but you know what I mean. So the first book I'm gonna read is Buy, Rehab, Rent, Finance, Repeat, the BRRR Rental Property Investment Strategy Made Simple, and the author is David Green. This book was actually written by, is authored by David Green, who is someone who is based in America. So it is based on an American context. Which is why I had reservations actually about buying it. However, I read like so many reviews from people based in the UK, and they said it was an amazing book. And although it was based in the US, it was still applicable to the UK context as well. And they were just saying like there weren't much differences, but the fundamental idea of BRRR is still obviously the same. So I thought, okay, let me give it a read, because in terms of the UK context books on this strategy, I think I saw Samuel Leeds's one, and the other finance ones were more like introductory books into property, and they kind of went through all the methods, whereas I'm at a point where I feel like I'm quite knowledgeable on some of the other methods, and I want to increase my knowledge on this specific method. So I wanted to buy a book and read a book that was specific to this. So yes, I do have a reservation, just a slight one, although I'm still going to read it. At least I'm just conscious of the fact that this is a US context, and if there's anything that doesn't make sense there, then I will just use Google to find out what that means, and what that means in the UK context as well. The second book I'm reading is The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. The last book I'm going to read is Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, I don't know how you would want to say it. And for the reasons why I'm gonna read these, reason one, essentially for the first book, the BRR one, I just want to equip myself with the knowledge to really understand and have like a good foundation of this property strategy. As I said, I feel like I'm in a position now where I kind of understand the other ones, but it's like, okay, let me find out more about this. Like, I know it's well regarded, especially in terms of like building generational wealth. So I thought, let me just get into this one. Again, slightly, just small reservations about the fact that it is based in a US context. However, I will compound that knowledge anyway with continuing to read like different resources, listening to podcasts, watching videos as I do on this method in a UK context anyway, so I can mitigate that slight issue. The second reason I want to hit this goal is because basically the 4-Hour Work Week and Rich Dad Poor Dad are two hugely widely critically acclaimed books that I just have not read yet, and I'm just late to the party. Especially Rich Dad Poor Dad is, I know it's crazy, I haven't read that. But I guess the wider reason as well, because I have heard a lot about how these two books in particular, they do actually like challenge social norms and like conventional ideas about money for Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then on the flip side, for the 4-Hour Work Week, kind of challenges social norms and ideas about working life and usage of time and stuff like that. So, and I am a sociologist at heart, let's remember that. So I am all about like challenging like conventional ideas, conventional philosophies and norms. So, and I feel like from what I've heard, these two books do that. And then the final reason why I want to read these books, I think we should always be in a state of like improvement, or like, I guess I don't want to say one-upping ourselves because that just sounds a bit toxic, but just like I guess improving upon our previous goals. And in Q3 my goal was to read 2 books, so I guess naturally for me, in terms of like thinking about progression and growth, my next goal for my next quarter should be to read 3 books. To me, I felt like, you know what, I'm always going to keep a goal of to read because knowledge is power and wisdom is knowledge applied, so why shouldn't I do this? So, and because I hit that goal as well, it's like, okay, cool, so what's next? I'm not just going to read 2 books again this quarter, like, come on now, let's read 3, let's like up that goal. So now that I've established why I want to hit those goals, I want to think a bit about how I'm actually going to hit those goals. So this is basically me like breaking down these goals into into actionable steps. What I didn't do for my Q3 goals is that I didn't establish from the start which books I was actually going to read. All I knew at that point was that I'm going to read 2 books. I don't know what they are yet, but I'm going to get them. I bought the first book, which was The Psychology of Money, and then let's say I was like near the end, maybe I had like 40 pages left. I started to think, okay, what's my next book gonna be, because I need to read 2 this quarter. I was in 2 minds about reading the 5 AM Club and The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari, and like I got very hung up on that, and I feel like, okay Grace, we're actually in the thick of the quarter. This isn't planning stage, this is execution stage, so we actually need to know what we're reading. So what I've taken from that is, from the start, before that quarter starts, establish from the get-go what books you're going to read. So the first step definitely is to establish the books that I want to read. Done, I have established them. The 4-Hour Work Week, Rich Dad Poor Dad, and the BRRR Property Strategy book. The second step is to order them, which I'm gonna do today. The next thing I've put down to break down this goal into actionable steps is to dedicate 1 hour a day to reading. The issue here that presents itself to me is that currently I only dedicate 30 minutes to reading per day. I need to find basically another 30 minutes in my day to dedicate to reading. But what I will say is that I'm in a very good position now, where it's a week before the quarter starts and I've already observed and understood, okay, I need another 30-minute slot. It's good that I'm not like in the thick of the quarter, like I'm in the first day or second day, I'm like, crap, I need to find 30 minutes to slot in time to read. This is why it's good to plan, because now I've got some time till the quarter starts and I can rejig my daily routine. I can work it out. I can rejig some things, and that will just cause less stress when I actually start the quarter. So yeah, so I need to dedicate 1 hour a day to reading, and based off of that, because I know I've only got a 30-minute slot daily, I need to now find somewhere else where I can dedicate 30 minutes to read, so it can make 1 hour in total. Because I'm reading more books this quarter, I obviously need to increase the amount of time that I am taking per day to read. The fourth one is to establish a reading structure. I really thank my previous self, for doing this before with my Q3 goals, because what I did was I said, okay, from July to mid-August I'm going to read The Psychology of Money, that's 6 weeks, and then from mid-August to the end of September I'm going to take the final 6 weeks of the quarter to read 5 AM Club. I had some pressure on me, like I knew, okay, when it hit July I was like, okay cool, I've got 2 more weeks to finish this book so I can start my next book as well. So I basically now need to establish a structure similar to that. The only structure that makes, I guess, mathematical sense is just doing 1 book per month. October I'm gonna read the BRR Property book, and then for November I'm gonna read the 4-Hour Work Week, and then for the final month, December, I'll read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm gonna take that on holiday with me. I love read, like y'all know, My sister knows, my friends know. I like to read on holiday anyway, and I have, I think, 4 holidays this quarter coming up. So I'll be taking these books on holiday anyway. So that is my reading structure established. The last thing I've put down as an actionable step is isolate that chosen book from the bookshelf. This helped me so much. I think I'm gonna have to do a video of how I did it. Okay, so you see that plant, that fake plant behind me, right? I have like those shelves, like those 3 shelf things on different levels, and basically what I did, I have a huge bookshelf. So instead of me putting my book on the book that I'm currently reading on my bookshelf where it can just blend in with all the other books I have, what I did is I took the initiative, because I'm smart. I took basically the book I was reading and I put it on my bookshelf there, and basically I enter my room from that way. So when I come in, I have no option but to grab that book. It's looking at me, I'm looking at it, and we're like, okay, let's go, let's read. You know, like there's no, I can't really get out of it. That has really helped me as a method to just like force myself to read the book because it's right in my face. Those are my 4 actionable steps. So number 1, establish the book that I'm reading for the quarter, done. 2, order the books, I'll do that tonight. 3, dedicate a 1-hour reading slot somehow. So I need to rejig things around, and I will do that this week so I can read 1 hour per day. Number 4, establish a reading structure, which I have done. 1 is to isolate that chosen book that I'm reading at the time and put it up on that shelf, which I'm gonna do. So the next goal is actually a financial goal. There's basically an investment that I want to make, and I need to save at least 10k for it. So maybe that's what we're gonna do this quarter. I looked at my 2023 bingo card and I was like, girl, we don't forget this goal that we wanted to hit. So I was like, okay, cool, we'll still do it. Like, we've got a quarter left and we'll definitely do that. The 3 reasons as to why I want to hit this goal: making this investment can aid my wider goal of achieving generational wealth. So that's the main reason. The second reason is because I wrote down this goal like on my 2023 bingo card to hit, and yes, it doesn't slip my mind. That's why it's good to always like look back at your wider goals. Therefore, I just want to make good on my personal promise to myself as well. Really crazy that this goal slipped my mind in a year where I've done so much savings and stuff like that. I've completely forgot to save for this. And the third reason I want to hit this goal is because it'll just make me feel like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm getting somewhere. I've done the first step at least of raising the required, I guess, capital at this stage. And then in terms of breaking this goal down into actionable steps, I always feel like this part is the most important, because this is basically saying how you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. It's like, yeah, we understand all the talking. Yep, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to do this, and you want to do that. But how are we going to do it? Tell me how we're going to do it, and let's start doing it. I've already done, would you call it the heavy lifting? I don't know. Like, I've set up the direct debit, I've set up the high yield savings account for it. I don't really know what else I'm meant to do, mate. It requires me obviously to continue working, of which I plan to do. So I don't know, there's nothing else really for me to do. If I was in a stage where it's like I just remembered now, like in this moment I wanted to hit this goal, then obviously I'd have to put down, when are we going to set up the account that we're going to put it into? When are we going to set up the direct debit? But I've already done that, so it's like, baby, we good. I guess for other people, something else that they would kind of consider in breaking this goal into actionable steps would be having the financial discipline to be able to do it. But I'm not writing that down because girl, I don't spend nothing on myself anyway. It's not good, but financial discipline is not an issue for me at all. I don't have the eye for like expensive designer materialistic things anyway. I'm just not that girl. I hate to say it. I will spend money on like an experience, like going on holidays and stuff like that. I do like to do that, but I have another source of income that pays for that. So in terms of my actual income that comes from my contracting work, I don't touch that. That literally doesn't fund my holidays or I guess my maintenance. And my only maintenance is actually just my nails every month. I'm an avid saver and investor, so I will cut a check to invest in my Vanguard account, but not on like fashion or materialistic things or anything like that. You'll see me with this raggedy ass jumper. I don't spend on myself. I should and I will at some point, but yes, anyway, my point is that perhaps if you have a financial goal, then something maybe you might want to think about is financial discipline if you feel like you need it. Third goal, and to most people this is not big at all, of course. It's not as big as saving X amount for this or hitting, I don't know, 5,000 sales in your business. But for me, it's really important. It's basically to upload at least 12 YouTube videos at the end of this year. And now I know why I wanted to dismiss this goal and replace it with another one, because it's like I'm already disappointed with how Q3 went in terms of uploading videos. Baby, I uploaded 2 videos. And I said deuces. No, I didn't actually say that. It's just that I got really busy with my assignment and stuff, and just poor time management, and I don't have another assignment until next year March. So when I had to think about, okay, is this more realistic for next year Q1 or this year Q4, it's obviously all the more realistic for this quarter. Basically, yes, upload at least 12 videos, and I actually had it before as 10 videos, and then I said, Grace, do you know you're doing it? You are minimizing yourself, firstly, and secondly, that's just too easy, because it means I don't need to put up a YouTube video per week. And I was just trying to find like ways like to go around it, but anyway, let that be a lesson to you. You probably know what goal it is you need to do now as opposed to next year. If you're battling it out between different goals, just think, okay, why am I battling it out, and which one makes more sense to do now? Which one like accommodates for my wider goals, my 2023 or 2024 goals? Just, yeah, ponder on that. Reasons I want to hit this goal. The first one is value. I am not lying to anyone when I say this. I believe I have so much value to like give people in terms of the ideas I've thought about for my YouTube videos, what I want to talk about, not even just mindset and not even just planning. I feel like I can really create impact in different ways if I just keep going with this YouTube channel, in terms of like helping people with what I'm really passionate about, which is like just education, like global education systems, especially in Africa, and helping the girls that need help back home. Knowledge I have about planning and stuff like that, it is really inspiring when I get people pop up to me on Instagram about like my planning method, how it's helped them. Like all of that stuff is really making an impact. And when that one person pops up, I don't see it as just this is just one person. I see it like, okay, this is going to help you get closer to your goals, and you get closer to your goals will allow you to give the lifestyle that you want for your family. You now understanding this method, you can now speak to someone else about this method and they can benefit from that. I don't see it as like one thing. I always see the ripple effect of things, because like God is a God of multiplication, and I don't mean that in adding extra zeros to your bank account. What I do mean by that is the fact that it doesn't just hit one person and it ends with one person. It keeps going, it keeps going, it keeps multiplying. I believe this YouTube channel can help people like understand more about planning, getting a hold of their lives a bit more, personal finance, just so many things that I know, mindset. So yeah, that's why I want to hit this goal, because of value. I'm generally not satisfied with the videos that I put up in Q2. I know that I can do so much better than that. Kind of like, come on Grace, it's you. I'm just trying to improve on what I did in Q3, and yeah, so now for Q4 I'm going to try and do a lot more videos and really challenge myself. You know that quote that says, if your goals or your dreams don't scare you, then they're just not that big enough? Yeah. That's how I felt with this. So obviously the initial goal was to hit 10, and I was like, okay, cool, yeah, that's achievable, like I can do that. But I was like, okay, but what would kind of fire you up where you really like have to work really hard? And it was like, okay, it would be to do one video a week. Considering the fact that I only put out 2 videos in Q3, putting out a video per week in Q4 is obviously something that I wouldn't say scares me, because obviously I don't have that spirit, but it's like it does present itself as a challenge to me. That's why I went for 12 instead of 10. That's my final reason for why I wanted to hit 12 YouTube videos this quarter, because yeah, the number is it's challenging. This goal into actionable steps. Firstly, I need to systemize this process. Okay, I need systems in place. Essentially, I need to create a really like systematic process of how I'm going to go about this. So what I need to identify is, what days am I doing my scripting, what days am I going to be doing my recording, and then what days am I going to be doing my editing. I don't know, I can't tell you because I'm not sure yet, but I do know this is something that I need to do before the quarter starts, get them processes up and running. If any of y'all have ideas, let me know. The second thing I need to do is establish the content that I want to put out there. So as my first YouTube video, I established my content pillars. So I had like education in terms of helping people, and I think about education policy like with the masters that I'm studying, productivity, faith-based content as well. So basically just going back to basics and saying, okay, cool, these are the pillars I've established. Do I need to rejig anything? Do I need to change anything? I need to consider what God's put in my heart to do, I guess, first and foremost. What do I need to get out for the next 3 months? And the very last part is, who do I need to be? Who does Grace need to be to hit these goals? Extremely disciplined is the answer, which she is already. But I just need to basically just set out quickly the characteristics, the traits that I need to adopt, that I need to have within me, instilled within me to hit these goals. So firstly is consistent. I need to be consistent and consistent and consistent. That needs to be my middle name, because part-time participation yields inevitably part-time results. I'll literally never forget this. In year 11, my history teacher said to our class, you will get out what you put in. And I'm telling you, that is one of the phrases that carried me through my academic success. That just always ringed in my ear. You know, like one of those light bulb moments. That was me at 16, like, it's what I put in is inevitably what I'll get out. And I thank you, Mr. Kane, for saying that, because that has really stuck with me. Plus, this state of difficult consistency, I believe, will one day turn into ordinary normality. At the start, it's difficult. In the middle, it gets messy, but at the end, it's beautiful. So I think sticking with the fact and idea that I know this consistency, although it may be difficult at the start, literally, one day it's going to be easy, it's going to be normality, it's going to be normal for me. The brilliant moves in the last seconds of the championship match were automatic, the result of tireless hours of repetition of those splendid moves during training. All the tireless hours of repetition of doing the same thing day in, day out, and exercising those muscles of discipline, in the end, it becomes automatic. Same way in which if you're someone that goes for a jog every day, by month 3, it wasn't difficult anymore. It's just automatic. It's just something that you now do. So yeah, I think consistency, because that consistency in reading my book every single day, creating those YouTube videos and sticking to that process that I'm gonna create, one day, although it'll be hard at the beginning, it will end up becoming automatic. The second thing that I need to adopt is just remaining in a state of constant challenge. Ensure that I don't get complacent, that I don't get lazy. It just becomes so easy to miss this and miss that because it's the festive season and and then it just becomes so easy to just go like downhill, especially for me. So I need to remain in a constant state of challenge. That will basically negate I guess the possibility for me to become complacent and to kind of like start going downhill. That looks like continuing to wake up at 5 a.m. every day, bar being on holiday, obviously, because I'm sure I'll be coming in late and stuff like that. But whilst I'm in this country, whilst I'm in this bedroom, in this house, in this bed, I have to be waking up at 5 o'clock, and it's just a no-brainer. Another thing I've put down is like continuing to go to the gym, and like the 30 days of soap challenge that me and a couple girls are doing, like basically remaining in that state of challenge. And doing the 30 days of soap challenge is obviously not like an uncomfortable thing to do, but it does hold me to account. Like I do have to do something every single day for 30 days. So in that sense, it does present itself as a challenge. Not like a difficult or a bad one or an uncomfortable one that like breeds discomfort. No. It does the opposite of that. But remaining in that state of challenge where it's like, okay, this is holding me to account and there are people holding me to account. Then I think the absolute last, and the thing is, I think I am already like this anyway, but the last thing I'm gonna say is tapping into a new dimension of self-love. That's genuinely where I'll be able to meet my higher self to hit these goals. Procrastination is an act of self-hatred. And I know that's crazy, I know it sounds wild, but just stick with it. If you really love yourself, you'll relinquish all of your feelings of not being good enough to be great and renounce all slavery of your weakness. You'd stop focusing on your deficiencies and celebrate your amazing qualities. Just think about it. There's no person on the planet today who has the unique stack of gifts that you have. Actually, in all of history, there's never even been one person exactly like you. And there never will be. You're that special. So embrace the full force of your lavish talent, luminous strength, and breathtaking powers. Let go of the destructive habit of breaking the commitments you make to yourself. Ooh. Failing to keep self-promises is one of the reasons so many of us don't love ourselves. Not following through on what we tell ourselves that we'll do will destroy our sense of personal wealth, and it also dissolves our self-esteem. Keep behaving like that and the unconscious part of you will begin to actually believe you're not worth anything. The less we value ourselves and our powers, the less power we have access to. Meeting yourself or trying to get to a higher state of self-love basically does yield better results in terms of achieving our goals and stuff like that, and it basically makes us believe that we can hit those goals. So that's something that I'm actually going to challenge myself to do as well. I would confidently say that I love myself, but reading that made me think, oh my gosh, there's actually another stage of self-love that I can reach, and in reaching that new stage I can also meet the part of me that sticks to my goals, the part of me that says I'm going to do something, meaning I'm going to do something, and I'm going to do something. These women and men suffered for their visions, ideals, and aspirations. They suffered for the increase of their skill and sacrificed for the realization of their prowess. They endured enormous anguish as they advanced their crafts and abandoned their temptations. And I must tell you, amazing performers also suffered for the state of the world. Ooh, I like this part, okay? Playing small with your promise demotes our world, because the planet becomes a poorer place without your greatness in it. Reaching this place of more self-love to yield better results for the world, to yield better results for like personal satisfaction as well, I think it's really, really important. And yeah, that part about if you really, really loved yourself, then you would do more. It's true. And again, I definitely think that I love myself, but it's like, okay, Grace, if you really, really loved yourself, wouldn't you do all these other things that you'd said you'd do? And I was like, yeah, you know what, that's true. So guys, that is the end of the video. Thank you so much for sticking around and getting to the end. I know it was kind of long. I am super, super excited for Q4. And yeah, if you have any other tips on how you plan your quarter or anything like that, let me know. And if you're excited as well for the new quarter, let me know. And if you're not, then let me know and tell me why you're not excited, because we should all be excited. But anyway, thank you so, so much for watching again. Have a blessed week, have a blessed day. And yeah, I can't wait to see you in my next 12 videos of the year. Bye. Q4 goals. Are they gonna ban me for that? No, they can't. Can they? 50? Am I shiny? Am I shiny right now? Okay, so